trying so hard to be a fancy tea lady. Is it working? I hope you're ready for a nice, cozy, relaxing video, because that is all mentally I have the capacity for this week. Being totally transparent, when the world is on fire, I resort to escaping to one place. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing. So if you were also right on the cusp of spiraling into uncontrollable darkness, this one's for you. Wanted to paint my pets. While browsing the catalog of possible Animal Crossing villagers that I could purchase the amiibos of, because I don't want no uggos, I saw a couple of them that kind of already looked like my babies. Take these cute little frames, paint my animals as Animal Crossing villagers. So that means 3 paintings. A little ambitious, but I think we can do it. Double video, because it's also a good excuse for me to try out gouache set, which I've never used gouache before, and I figured this is the perfect opportunity. The structure of this is going to go research, because I need to figure out what shape of villager is gonna work for each one of my children. Sketching it out and designing, and then painting it. Easy. Let's do introductions. Okay, my thoughts are as such. So Pip has a very basic dog body. It really lines up with the dog villagers. Frodo is more of, I guess, their wolf villager shape. And then Binks is, you know, classic cat, just classic. Animal Crossing dog villagers. This is stressing me out. It's like a recipe website. Okay, here we go. The one that I felt looked like Pip was Goldie, but also now upon seeing Maddie, she also kind of looks like that. A hybrid of those two with a little bit of liberties taken, especially around the eyes. We gotta give my girl googly eyes. I'm not erasing her most perfect feature. And then these are the wolves. Wolves. I think I can probably schmooze this enough. Maybe add like a little bit more ear hair. Last but not least, my queen bee, Binks, of which we have plenty of cats to choose from. Kiki's looking like she's got the perfect dead-eyed stare. Oh, my girl. What do you think? Shall we get started? Oh, you smell good, huh? Someone had to have an emergency tubby after she came in with the muddiest paws I have ever witnessed in my life. It was that scene from Beethoven. On that note, let's gather our supplies and start sketching.
Careful, SpongeBob!
I'm realizing I need to start this gouache journey a little bit earlier than expected, because I should probably do the backgrounds before I start sketching in the figures. And so, I don't want to hear it, okay? I don't want to hear, Rachel, your palette looks like actual throw up. If your palette doesn't look like this, I don't trust you. So, like I said, I've never used gouache before, but I've watched a cornucopia of videos about it on the internet, so I can do it. My crafter's audacity is ever present. I feel like it's not too much different from watercolor. From what I gather, it's just a little bit more opaque depending on how much water you use, which is nice because that was my main gripe with watercolor. But I feel like for kind of the Animal Crossing cartoony style, I think it's gonna work well. So, shall we tuck in? Collecting hobbies. So, okay, I need to pukey palette over here. I shouldn't need to mix too much for the background because I'm just gonna do a grassy meadow with a blue sky. Bob's your uncle. And Tom Nook is your tyrannous bell-scarfing landlord. Oh, I'm gonna need more water than that. longer than I did, but I laugh in the face of suggestions that would make my life easier. Okay, and then I'm gonna see if this is possible to add the little triangle grass texture. Taking a picture of Goldie, I guess just put the body shape down here. I at least want to get like the positioning down. Perfect. And then what should she be wearing? I'm gonna make her wearing Mom's hand knit sweater. Hi, it's now the next morning. While I was painting yesterday, Frodo hurt himself outside. We think he slipped on the ice, and now he's not putting any weight on his leg, so we have to go to the vet with him today. Yeah, not great. I do want to finish what I started though, so I think I'm probably just gonna go mostly time lapse for this and maybe chat over voiceover. I'm just sad and stressed. You know, vaguely gestures at everything, and then this on top of that is just, it's a little too much. So I'm just going to sit down, paint my animals in a very cutesy, cartoony style. And hopefully that calms me down until it's time to take my man to the vet. What I might do though, I might switch to acrylic. I know this was, you know, my goal for this was going to be my first time using gouache and kind of focus on that, but I'm finding it not quite as opaque as I need it to be. I can't get the edges quite as like crisp as I want. Stay with the gouache for the backgrounds, but I think I'm going to switch to acrylic for the actual subjects. Really getting them to stand from the background is kind of a little bit more difficult with gouache, I think. Unless I'm doing it wrong, I don't know. But at this point, I've lost a day. I kind of need to get these done. Let's do some cozy painting. Let's do it. Once her little body was done, I focused on her facial features, which currently her little forehead marking is a little bit of a self-portrait, which I think is so silly. So it was very important that I added that in. Then it was time to start on Frodo's painting, which I did another pretty basic background with the gouache, which was really fun in terms of like gradients and blending everything. It blends really, really easily. Reference of his body, I pretty much used Wolfgang, but I made his ears a little bit more flippy. trying to go shopping for what he would wear. Of course, I had to go with this adorable little hobbit vest. As a little bit of an update, we did take him to the vet, and it turns out that he ruptured his cruciate ligament in his knee and will need surgery. So we have a consultation with the surgeon on Monday, and then I'm really hoping that week they can get him into surgery. Yeah, it's absolutely heartbreaking to watch him not put any weight on it. But, you know, we're just on Frodo duty, and he's chilling with me right now as we speak. He can still walk on the other leg, but I'm trying to limit that as much as possible because that leg has a bone spur, so that's kind of his bad leg already. So yeah, Mom is a little stressed and a little worried for my boy, but we'll get it sorted, and hopefully he'll come out feeling a lot better. One thing this project is making me realize is that this household loves speckly, paint-splattered babies, and if they have a nub, even better. I had to add Frodo's little sugar chin, of course. My favorite thing is that now it looks like he has a little Gomez mustache. It's time to move on to the final painting of my Lady Binks. For this background, I wanted to include some trees, so I started sketching those in. I tried to add in some of those leaf shapes with gouache, but it wasn't really working. So yeah, I don't know. If you have any tips on what I'm doing wrong with gouache, or if this is just normal, let me know. I will definitely say painting these springtime backgrounds was healing for my soul. This has been probably the longest winter of my life. Between adopting Pip and then the amount of snow we've gotten has been pretty isolating, and just the ice itself has been horrible in many aspects, you could say. But days like this where the snow is starting to melt and I can hear the birds, it's filling me with a little bit of hope, and I truly cannot wait for spring. I need it so bad. I will say though, Pip is obsessed with the snow, so that's one good thing about this. So using the basic cat body, I started sketching out Binks's design. This was very, very fun. Decide what I wanted her to wear, so I kind of went with a sweater vest that was a little bit similar to what Frodo's wearing. bit harder. For whatever reason, the eyes on the cat villagers are just unnerving. So I did my best to make her look the least murderous that I possibly could. Something still wasn't quite right, so I added some eyelids. Then I made the executive decision that she wasn't angry enough. Binks would totally be one of those really grumpy villagers that you wouldn't realize how sweet she is until you bring her copious amount of gifts. So I decided to do the eyelids and the brows that really, really reflected that.
There you have it. My little babies. Ta-da! Oh, well, yeah, I guess I'm calling it there. This was obviously not exactly the way that I wanted this video to go, but I guess part of being a content creator is that this is my life. I hoped you liked the kind of more slow-paced, less talkative kind of video. Hopefully in a couple weeks we'll have Frodo all sorted and then I can kind of get back into the swing of things. Right now I am on sleepy old man duty. My poor guy. As stressed as I've been the past couple days, this did help. I think these came out really, really cute, especially little Pip looking like a little chunky girl. I don't know, it was kind of a fun exercise in restraint, I guess, because I'm not used to doing more of a cartoony, simple-ized style, and it was kind of actually really nice. I quite enjoyed doing like clean lines and not a ton of shading, so this was very enjoyable. I am quite excited to start work on my workshop. Just a real scoundrel over on Facebook Marketplace right now, trying to find and save any form of workshop furniture that I can find that is like relatively cheap. I gotta work on gathering stuff, and then the second half of March we can actually start getting our grubby mitts all over everything. But yeah, until then, cozy video. Like I said, my overall thoughts with gouache are kind of torn because I didn't really use it all that much. I used it for the backgrounds, which it worked really, really well for. But like I said, the figures kind of needed to stand away from the background and be completely opaque. So I did switch to something that I knew a little bit better. I would love to experiment a little bit more with gouache, maybe watch one or perhaps two more tutorials until I'm a true master of the arts. I can see, however, my problem with travel watercolor being fixed with travel gouache. Being able to go back over things afterwards is a huge plus for me, so I do believe I am in need of purchasing a travel gouache kit. But yeah, I appreciate you, every single one of you. I'm gonna go snuggle my boy and probably play a little bit more Animal Crossing. It's for my mental health! I love you whether you're new or old to this channel. If you're new here and you feel like sticking around, feel free to subscribe. I upload every other Friday and we have fun here. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!
Oh, that's good.